Hi guys, happy Wednesday. It's your first Wednesday, it's your first video, and I'm sure you're excited to do it at your own pace today. Don't forget we have a study hall at 9:30 if you want to jump on. So today what we're going to do is we're going to review solving equations, okay? And this would be equations from 7th grade, 6th and 7th. 7th we really took it up a notch. What I want you to do is I want you to really take note of how I am solving the equation and the type of work I expect. Okay. I know that if you had certain teachers that they had certain ways of doing things, and trust me, you probably have come out just fine. So we're going to start with an equation that's very basic compared to what we're going to get up to. Okay. So we're going to start with a negative 2 times x plus 5 equaling 40. So we can see in my equation that I definitely have included an integer and I've definitely included the distributive property. So here we go. My first step is to put in my balance beam. Okay. Then I'm going to simplify any expressions that might be more complicated than 2 steps. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute this negative 2. And if you remember from 7th grade, distributing means you give it to everyone inside those parentheses. So we have negative 2 times x, that's a negative 2x, and a negative 2 times 5 is a negative 10. Bring down my equal 40. So again, still trying to balance my equation. The goal is to get x alone. I'm going to move this negative 10. So I do the opposite. I add 10. And what I do to one side, I do the other. Notice that Mrs. Brown just called this a negative 10. And you might have said, well, that's a subtract 10. A negative 10 is a subtract 10. Just pause for a minute to let you think about that. Okay, let's bring down negative 2x and equaling 50. So from here, this is multiplication. Okay, we're going to undo multiplication, negative 2 times x, by dividing. And I use division bars. I do not use baby division, so none of this. Okay, I divide by my coefficient. If you remember, the number in front of the variable is called the coefficient. I'm going to divide by negative 2 on both sides. These cancel out. My negatives cancel out. I'm left with x equals negative 25. To check my work, I take my equation, I rewrite it from the first way it looks, not my simplified way, because if I made a mistake, this is going to get me my right answer. So from the original way that it looks, and then everywhere I see an x, I plug in negative 25. So negative 2 times negative 25 plus 5 equaling 40. So I can distribute again, or I can do my parentheses, then multiply. But one of the things must happen. So maybe I'll distribute through. Negative 2 times negative 25 gives me 50. Negative 2 times positive 5 gives me negative 10 equaling 40. But I can't stop, because if I am doing a proof like a check, I must prove it all the way. I can't leave it here and make somebody else do my work. So I have 40 equaling 40, check your proof. And I'm done with that problem. Putting in my signal to myself that I'm going to the next one. Okay? So I'm going to have you guys try one on your own. Go ahead and write down 2 times 3x plus 2 equaling 118. Pause your video and try to solve the same type of equations we just did above by yourself. And when you're ready, restart your video and check your answer. Okay, here we go. Let's see how we did. We have our balance beam in. We have 2 times 3x, that's 6x. 2 times 2, that's positive 4, equaling 118. I'm going to take my 4, I'm going to move it over. Since it's a positive 4, I'm going to be subtracting 4 from both sides. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So I bring down 6x and I bring down 114 as my answer. Now I'm going to divide out. So this coefficient is 6. I'm multiplying x by 6. I'm going to divide by 6. So what I do to one side, I do to the other. Notice the notation. I'm not making any shortcuts, but it doesn't take me very long to write it down. I don't know if you saw me move just now, but I just got out my calculator. Again, nothing wrong with you using your calculator at all times. You don't have to prove to me that you're smart. Okay? So 114 divided by 6 is 19. So we're going to check our answer over here. 2 times 3x plus 2 equals 118. Rewriting the problem. Plugging in everywhere I see that 19. So 2 times 3 times 19 plus 2 in parentheses equals 118. Now it's a little different this time. I can distribute the 2 to to this, but it would be to this whole entire term. So what I'm going to do instead, so I don't get too confused, is I'm going to do 3 times 19, and then I'm going to add that to 2. So I have 57 plus 2, and my 2 is outside the parentheses. Simplifying this, I get 59 times 2, still bringing that down because we're not finished, and 118 equals 118, Checky Poo. Okay, let's bring it up a notch. Hopefully you got that one right, but we're going to step it up a notch. So what happens if I have something like this? 5z plus 3z minus 8 equals 0. Okay, so this time I don't have those parentheses. I put my balance beam in, and I say to myself, okay, I do have to simplify that expression, but I'm simplifying it by combining like terms. So 5z plus 3z is 8z minus 8 equals 0. The negative 8 didn't have any friends. It had nothing to combine with, so it just basically gets dragged down into the next line of your equation. All right, so we have to move this negative 8. We're going to move it by adding 8 to both sides. We get 8z equals 8. Again, that's multiplication. So to undo, we're going to divide both sides by 8, and we get z equals 1. Again, checking our answer, we rewrite our problem. We plug in everywhere we see a z, a 1. So 5 times 1 plus 3 times 1 minus 8 equals 0. Again, I must use that PEMDAS, that order of operation. This is my PEMDAS tree. There she is. There she is. So I don't have parentheses. I don't have exponents. I have to multiply first. So I have 5 plus 3 times 1 minus 8 equals 0. 5 plus 3 minus 8 equals 0. So using my 2 multiplications. Now I must do adding and subtracting from left to right. So 5 plus 3 is 8, minus 8 equals 0. Oh, I think I know that my proof is going to work, but I have to show it. 0 equals 0, Checky Poo. If you are feeling right now like those were way too easy, well, then I'm going to give you one to try on your own. And let's see how you do here. 7x plus 2 plus 5x equals 8. Go ahead and pause the video and solve that equation. Okay, let's check it out. To combine like terms here, we should have 12x's plus 2 equals 8. I'm going to move the 2 over by subtracting because this is positive. I have 12x equals 6. This is multiplication. I'm dividing out by 12. I get x equals 1/2. I've reduced 6/12. Perhaps you divided it into your calculator and you got the decimal 0.5. Both of these are the right answer and make sense. Okay, so we're going to have to check this. Why was this one a little harder? Because the answer wasn't an integer. Okay, so we have 7x plus 2 plus 5x equaling 8, rewriting my problem. 7 times 0.5 plus 2 plus 5 times 0.5. Or I could have typed in a half each time. So half of 7 is 3.5 plus 2 plus half of 5 is 2.5 equaling 8. So let's see, 3.5 plus 2.5, 4, 5, 6 plus 2, I have 8 equals 8. Check and proof. All right. Okay. Let's take all of those skills and put them into a one problem and see how we do. Okay. All right. So we have negative 5x minus 5 times negative 6 minus 2x, parentheses closed, equals 0. Go ahead and take a minute to write that down. Okay, the first thing we're going to do there is we are going to distribute. Always do your parentheses first. Simplify parentheses first. So we are actually distributing this negative 5. So we have negative 5 times negative 6. That gives me a positive 30. I'm going to make it a positive 30 right away. I'm going to put that plus sign there because I know I have this term to come down and connect to it. So it won't confuse me why it's all there together. Negative 5 times negative 2x is positive 10x. And now I'm going to bring down that negative 5x, and that equals 0. Now, to simplify this side of the equation more, I'm going to combine like terms. So I have negative 5x's plus 10x's. That gives me 5x plus 30 equals 0. Moving my 30 to the other side, I'm going to subtract it since it's positive. I get 5x equals negative 30. And divide both sides by 5. X will equal negative 6. Let's try another one. How about you guys try 10x plus 8 times negative 3x plus 2 equals 72. Go ahead and solve that one, and when you are finished, play the video again to check your answer. So the first thing we need to do here is we need to distribute this positive 8 through, and that's a positive 8 this time. Notice how I'm calling it and talking about it. So we have positive 8 times negative 3x, that gives me negative 24x. Positive 8 times positive 2, I get a positive 16 equaling 72, and I bring down that 10x. My next step would be to keep cleaning up this side and combine like terms. I get negative 14x's plus 16 equals 72. If you thought this was weird, it was, and you're doing everything right. Let's move that 16 to the other side using inverse operations. We'll have negative 14x come down, and 72, well, from there, I get 56 left over. Okay, so to do the opposite of multiplication, I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide by the same exact coefficient so I can end up with 1x. Hi-ya, hi-ya, hi-ya. All of the negative 14 cancels out. Since I only have one negative here, my answer is going to be negative. Again, I'm going to use my calculator to make sure I'm accurate. And sometimes the calculator can be used for speed, guys, as well. Like it just goes quicker and it's more accurate and we make less errors because our problems are bigger. So we want to really make sure that as we go through the problem, we're not making errors all the way through, just with computation. So my answer is negative 4 right there. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to go ahead and open up the Jamboard for the classwork. And I'd like you to work on one of those slides. Take half of it, work on it. There's 20 slides and there's 24 of you. So some people are gonna have to share for sure. I couldn't make more than 20 slides. After you're done with that Jamboard and you kind of click through the slides to check out how other people have done it, which is an okay thing to do, guys. What you're going to do then is do your own Jamboard, and it's labeled September 16th homework. Okay? Hope you have a great night, and we'll see you on Thursday.